Once in a while, there is a case that comes to light which makes one question how reality can be so dark that it defeats fiction. One such story from 12 years ago triggered a similar thought and substantial angst amongst locals. This story goes back all the way to 2014 and is from Bhakkar, a district in Pakistan's Punjab province. In the month of April 2014, police arrested two brothers, Muhammad Arif Ali and Muhammad Farman Ali. Their crime was cannibalism. Authorities had responded to complaints from neighbors of a foul smell coming from their home in the village. When police checked the house, they found the head of a child and a burning cooking stove nearby. On examination, police found that the head was about 4 to 5 days old. And when prodded, the brothers admitted to cooking the human flesh and eating it. The siblings had dug up the body of the child from a grave, severed the head, and used the meat from the rest of the body in a curry. Authorities arrested both the brothers, Arif Ali, who they found at home itself, and Farman Ali, who was later apprehended at the outskirts of the village just hours into the day. The officials say that both of them were kept in separate cells, but they refused to eat prison food. For the Pakistani police, this was not their first rendezvous with the Ali brothers. They had a previous conviction as well for the same crime. In 2011, the siblings were jailed for 2 years for digging graves and stealing 150 bodies, which they over time proceeded to consume. Both brothers admitted to their acts, but there is no law specifying the punishment for cannibalism. And so the brothers got a minimum sentence. The verdict angered many Pakistanis, especially people who belonged to the same locality as them. 2 years later, in 2013, the brothers were out, and they eventually kept a low profile. But it barely took a few months for them to return to their old ways and finally be caught again. Now, this second time around, in 2014, authorities again produced both of these men, but this time in an anti-terrorist court in Pakistan. Again, since there was no law on cannibalism, the judges convicted them on other grounds of desecrating a grave and several other charges. The court this time punished them with a 12-year prison sentence. Not life imprisonment, not death penalty, but a few years in jail, because human flesh-eating crimes have no clear legislation laid out. Ever since, there is no word on the fate of these brothers, no reports on them appealing in a higher court, or of any change in their sentence. So why are we discussing this case today? Because even in the scenario that cannibalistic duo served their complete sentence, this is the year that they get out. 12 years of prison punishment in 2014 brings us to the present, 2026. Once the brothers are out, if they aren't already, what is to stop them from being cannibals all over again? For eternal resting places to be disrupted, and for bodies to be exhumed to cook and eat? These questions have no answer, because Pakistan's legislation on cannibalism is still not updated. Even today, there are 3 scenarios in which courts in Pakistan can grant punishment to those accused of cannibalism. Scenario 1, Section 297, which refers to exhuming a buried corpse and doing undignified acts with the body. The maximum prison sentence is 1 year, or a fine, or both. Scenario number 2, murder. If an accused has killed another human to consume their flesh, in this case that qualifies for death penalty or life imprisonment, and that in particular hinges on the act of murder. Scenario 3, the Anti-Terrorism Act in Pakistan. Under ATA, courts can grant over 10 years in prison on grounds of accused spreading terror and disorder in public through their criminal acts. This last scenario is what had been applied in the case of the Ali brothers. But even today, tabled proposals have not reached any logical conclusion. When the Punjab case triggered uproar, lawmakers did see the need to include language that reflected acts of cannibalism in the legislation. But so far, it has not materialized. And the sentence of Ali brothers is almost over, if not already. That's all we have for you on this episode of Prime Crime. We'll be back next week with more such stories and cases from around the world. Thanks for watching.